Okay, welcome back to the channel. So I am back from my 3-week vacation. I think I took 3 weeks off. This should be coming out the week of January 9th. If you're new to the channel, on this series that I'm doing right now, I'm working on an 81 Harley FXS lowrider. Although if you look at it, you probably can't see it because the fenders are covered up right now, but these actually have 98 FSX TC fenders and tank. That's how the previous owner wanted this bike to look. I kind of like the look of that, so basically what I had done was I had the front and rear fenders repainted. The tank didn't need to be repainted, and the match came out perfectly. I couldn't have asked for a better match. Well, they did match the paint up. So we found out the paint was actually laser pearl on this. We thought at first it was patriotic red pearl. It's basically the same color. I think they just changed the name from 97 or 98 to like early 2000s is when they went that color. So right now in this video, I'm going to be working on the oil pump for now the 81 has an 80 cubic inch motor. If you watched any of my video series, the 76 FLH had a 74 cubic inch motor. Not too much difference in that. This does have a rotary top transmission rather than the ratchet top that the 76 had. I did not touch the transmission at all. There wasn't any problem with it. I didn't see any point in taking it apart. It shifted fine. I didn't have any issues with it. And so this video, we're going to be working on the oil pump. I want to get the oil pump in because the month of January is basically going to be devoted to working on the motor, getting the pistons in, the cylinders back on, the heads on, and getting the motor back in the frame so I can move forward with some other stuff. As soon as I get the motor back in the frame, then I can move on to electrical. I have done some electrical work on the bike, but I'm not anywhere near done that. I am going to wire this bike just like the FLH. I don't know if you can see it. I don't know if you can see that, but I'm using the mid-terminal over here just like the FLH did for the rear turn signals, rear stop light, brake light as such. So, and I'll be going over a whole video on that, on the rear fender, on wiring the rear fender. Probably in the next video. You'll probably see that process there. I'll be wiring that up. So, all right. So let's get moving. Let's get this oil pump installed on this 80 cubic inch shovel motor. Okay. So I got all the parts here for the oil pump. One thing I got to do first is I've got to put the seal in here, and so I've got that right here, and I've already got that kind of lube, but I'm going to put some more. So we'll put this on, and it sits right. It sits right in there. So we just got to kind of pound this in with a socket that's almost the same size. Take that out. I don't like that. There. Okay. Okay, so you can see that seated in here. Now, it's easier to do this, obviously, if you don't have the cam cover on, because you have this drive shaft here that will move in and out, you know, as you're doing stuff. I already put this in because there's no way that I'm going to get the camera in here with a light to show you how this goes in. So there is this gear that has a C-clip on the end of it, and you got to make sure when you put the C-clip in that you don't have the ends over where the keyway is, because there's a key in there too. So it's easier, you know, to put this in because you can at least push against this. So one of the things, I need a light, so let me get a light right quick. So we'll get a little bit of light on here. I can turn this way. So the first thing we got to do is we have a couple of these Mylar gaskets. So the first one, that's not the right one. Which one goes there? So that one goes there. So this one we need against here like that. Or you could put it you know, you can put it on here too, but so what we're going to do first is I'm going to put some white lithium grease on this so it kind of stays in place. It's getting really windy out today too. It's supposed to get in the 20s tonight. All right, so we can put that up here. Just want to make sure that everything lines up the way it should. Make sure all the passages line up. All right, so now we have a key that has to go in here. So in this kit, this James gasket kit, which is kit number JGI81FL, this fits 81 through 1991 big twins. So you get a bunch of different stuff in here. You get this brass crush washer that goes onto this nut here. So I got to take that off and put the crush washer on. You get these two O-rings that go on the caps, but we won't be putting these on today because I'm getting new ones. Those are coming in, and then we get a new ball to seat in there. Again, we're not putting the ball in today because I'm going to wait to get the new chrome caps. And there's also two keys. I mean, if you can see that right there included, but I already have keys, so I don't really need those. So they're the same size. So here are the keys. We got two keys on this drive shaft. Now, if you can see that, they're right there. They're both the same size. In fact, they're all three the same size for that. So we'll put that one back. Because the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put in the scavenger gears. Now the scavenger gears are the bigger gears because it's actually pulling oil from the crankcase. The smaller gears are the feed gears, which it still pulls oil in, but it doesn't need to have the pressure that the scavenger gears have. So again, there's a clip here that goes in there. Okay, so what I like to do at this point, usually I take a pair of forceps. I'll put a little dot of the assembly lube on the spot where the key goes in, and you'll see there I go. I'm going to put that on there now. It just kind of holds it in place, and you want to put assembly lube or oil on that shaft anyway, because there's another key that's going to go in the front after this set of gears goes on. So it's a little bit easy to do that. You can use pliers. I've used needle nose pliers in the past, but it works good for forceps. So the drive gear is the one that has the key in it. The other gear is moved by the drive gear. So like I said, it's a little bit easier if you put your finger inside where the cam chest is and push on that shaft to pull it out. Because if you try to put it on there, what it's going to do is that shaft is going to push in and knock the keyway out of place. So then it's just a matter of looking at it and, you know, lining that keyway up with the gear. So I have to get my magnifying headset here because I can't see up close anymore. So you can see I'm putting my finger on the shaft and pushing that shaft out while I'm looking for the space on that drive gear that the key will fit in. And there it goes. It goes right on it. You can see it kind of locks that gear in. Okay, so now the next step is we have to take the gear that's on the other side of the pump right next to that drive gear, and we have to put that in the case. You'll see me put it in the case here in a minute, and then you have to just kind of feel how those gears are going to mesh in, because you can't really see from behind there. There's not much space to see where those gears are lining up, so you just kind of have to rotate that gear that doesn't have the key in it until it lines up with the gear that has the key in it, and then you just push that case on. It's a little bit hard to push it on because you're pushing now that shaft through that oil seal that I put in earlier. And I find it easier to take a pick because you got to line this gear up with that so it meshes. So let me put some more assembly lube on here. I want to get it off this surface here because I'm going to put some more white lithium grease on here. You don't really need to do this, but I do. It makes a little bit better seal. And one thing I got to do, because I forget to do this, is we got to replace this. We got to put the washer in for this. So I made this mistake with the FLH, and I couldn't figure out why it was leaking, and I had actually forgot to put this screw in, or bolt in. And I am going to use a little bit of gasket sealer on this. So here's the one that's in this little kit. This is brass pressure washer. So that goes on here like that. And I always put a little bit of gasket sealer on this, since this is a piece that you basically have to take the whole oil pump off to fix if it leaks. All right, so I guess this is actually a bolt that, from what I understand, a lot of people forget to put in. I forgot to put this in on the FLH, and oil poured out of this. And I really don't know what this is used for. It's just got a crush washer and a bolt, so I'm not sure why that hole is even in the oil pump. But again, it's a thing that if you forget about it, you don't put it in, or it's not torqued right, you got to take the whole oil pump apart to get that off. So I do put some gasket sealer on it, and I'm not sure what the torque is on this. I just tighten it down as much as I can. So now we can put this in here. I'm going to have to, I don't know, this is not going to show up on camera, but you've got to turn this gear in order to mesh with this one at the same time. So let's see if we can. There we go. Okay, so that's on like that. Make sure this gasket doesn't move. So now we've got another gear, another key that has to go here, which is going to be the feed gear. So let me, that should stay up there. So we've got the other key. What do I do with the other key? So here's the other key. Let me just throw a bolt in here for a minute. Actually, I can put these bolts in now. Oh, these are short. I think these are the short bolts. So we have short bolts and long bolts. There's actually two short bolts, and that's where these go up here. No, that doesn't fit. All right, anyway, I just want to stop it right there for a minute. So we got another key that has to go in. I have to put the oil feed lines on before I do this next step, or you'll never get them on. So we've got a key that goes right there. And we can still push this out a little. so here's the key, the one that's got the key in it. So we're going to put some assembly lube on this. Let's see if I can see it here now. That's in right there, right there. We can take this gear. Put some assembly lube on this. That goes in there like that. Now before I put this piece on, I've got to put these in, which are the oil feed lines, because you'll never get this in once that's on. They just won't go in. So let me get a wrench. All right, so we're going to put a little bit of, oops, I don't want that. I'm all done with this, I think. Now, I want gasket sealer. Some people put Teflon tape on. I use gasket sealer. Actually, you can use either or, I guess. Right, so you want to put the one that's closest into the feed for the primary in first, because you got to get a wrench in there. So. And I'm just going to keep tightening this. There we go. Put that in. Now I don't need to put these in yet. I can put those in anytime. It's these that you have to put in before you put the cover on, which is what this is. This is just a cover. Okay, so now we can, there's another gasket. We're all done with this. So here's the other gasket. We can put some lithium white grease on this. And the good thing about this is if you get this in the oil passages, the oil will just flush it away. It won't really affect it. But I just put a light coat on there. And then we want to fit that here. Oops, I forgot one step that we got to do right now. There's actually a clip that goes right there. So I don't know, you're probably not going to be able to see it. So there's a clip right here. See, there's the advantage of being able to push this out, because this wants to go in every time you do something. Let me see if I have another clip here. I thought I had another one. There should have been another one in this bag. I don't. It might have fallen out. I don't know what happened to it. Yeah, I don't know where it is. All right. So we'll. Okay, so we got that in. It's easier if you put something behind this drive gear behind here to keep that out, because this will still keep moving in. It's just a metal clip that goes around here. So, all right, so let's finish this up. Let me get this back on here. So we got this that goes like this. Take some and put it on here. this. Now, one thing I'm going to do first is I'm going to set the torque on these two top bolts. And so let's do that first, because you can't really get the torque wrench in after that. And this really should be torqued to specs. If you tighten it too much, it'll stretch these Mylar gaskets out and it'll leak. And if you don't tighten it enough, it'll leak. So let me get the torque wrench and we'll do that. Okay, so these bolts all get torqued to 50 inch-pounds. So this is kind of a cool torque wrench I got, because once this is in the bike, if I need to take the pump off, you can't fit a regular torque wrench in there. So this is already set to 50 inch-pounds. Okay, so we do 50 inch-pounds. It's not much, I'm going to tell you. 50 inch-pounds is like 4 foot-pounds, somewhere around there. It's 50 there.
Cool, iPhone 17? I switched to T-Mobile. You get 4 iPhone 17s on them.
It's 50 there. Okay, so now we can do the cover. We'll get the cover on. And this one here. I got a new oil pressure gauge that's coming, so. Use the torque wrench and we'll go in a crisscross pattern. We'll do this one first. That's 50. 50, 50, 50. Okay, so we're all at 50 inch-pounds. Just check that. Okay, cool. All right, so we've got the, I don't need to put these in right now, but we do have the screw for the, this is for the rear chain oiler, and I don't use that, so we screw this all the way in so it doesn't leak. What else we got? Well, we got caps here, but I'm getting, like I said, I'm getting new chrome ones. This piece goes down in there, and then we've got the filter that goes in there along with this spring, and I have new one of those. Then this spring goes over here with a check ball, and then we're going to use this check ball to seat this a little bit better because we have a brand new one in that kit. So this would screw into here, but I'm getting a new one. I'm not using this one. So that's going to wrap it up for this video. At least we got the oil pump on, we got that done. I got a few small things to do. I'm going to do that off camera. There's no point in making a video of putting these pieces in and not these caps on. Maybe I will later on about the caps to show you where stuff like that goes. But anyway, that's it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.